everyone. In today's video, let's talk about interview rejections and how you can get through it. I'm also going to share some of my personal stories of how I failed hard in my job interviews. My name is Soy and I'm a UX designer at Google. Welcome to my channel. On my channel, I am dedicated to all things about UX design, interviews, and product design. So if you like this content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss my future content. I'm also offering one-on-one career coaching to help you nail your next job interview. I know how that feels like when getting rejections after interviews. For those of you who have never received rejections after interviews and crashed every single round, congrats, you are definitely an interview pro. Like me, I'm sure many of you who have been through the interview process have received emails like these ones. Come on, I get it. Regardless of what email templates you use or how many good words you have included in those emails to make them sound sweet and encouraging, I understand what you're trying to say essentially is you are not going to hire me. For recruiters who wrote those emails and are watching this video, thank you for composing such well-crafted emails, but you don't really need to write so much to reject me because I was sad and I didn't want to spend too much time to read through your message if it's long. It usually hurts the most when getting rejected in these situations. We have prepared so much for an interview because we really want to nail it. We thought we bonded very well with an interviewer and they even promised next steps. You're applying for your dream company. This is the company you truly want to work with. I would like to share my personal stories of how I failed really hard in multiple interviews with Facebook over the past 3 years. Oops, sorry. It's Meta, not Facebook anymore. Please know that was not just one failure, but multiple failures. The failures in the Meta interviews really frustrated me because I was in all 3 situations I have mentioned just now. So you could imagine how devastating that was. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the story. Meta and I go way back. The first time I applied for jobs at Meta was through an internal referral in my senior year in college. I thought the strong referral and the internship experience would at least get me an interview opportunity from them. Unfortunately, I have never heard back from the recruiter, and I would assume that was a silent rejection. Okay, that is fine, because it's true that getting an interview opportunity is actually difficult for many new grads, so just let it go. 3 years later, I applied for jobs at Meta again, and I finally heard back from the recruiter the first time after submitting my resume. One day, I saw an email with the subject design at Facebook sitting in my inbox. I got so excited and rushed to open that email. The recruiter wrote, "I want to reach out as we are growing our design org, and I would love to chat with you about it further. Let me know your availability for a phone chat." Yes, I absolutely want to learn more about opportunities at Meta because I heard that they paid well and they also provided a lot of great career development opportunities. So I scheduled my first interview with Meta soon after receiving that email. The phone screening and the technical rounds went well, and I still remember the next day after my technical rounds, I saw the recruiter visited my LinkedIn profile, and like many people would do, I started to guess whether or not that was a positive signal or not. And I even started to Google some positive interview signals because I was so desperately waiting for a response from them. 2 days after I finished the technical round, the recruiter got back to me with some great news. So she said that I did really well in the previous rounds and they were interested to bring me on site. That was such exciting news, and I've been waiting for this invitation for so long. As you could expect, I started to work really hard to prepare for this on-site interview. I overhauled my entire portfolio and all the slides in the presentation deck. I practiced every on-site round multiple times a day, and I followed any news related to Meta. When I read the company news and learned about their culture, I didn't do that just for the purpose of preparing for the on-site interview, but I truly admire that company as I read through their mission and got to learn about their tremendous impact on users. The on-site interview big day finally came. I was a bit nervous when interviewing with my dream company, but overall, I think it went well. After the on-site interview, the waiting game started. I followed up with the recruiter a few times, and then 6 days later, I received an email from the recruiter, and she wrote, "We actually just debriefed, and I do have feedback for you. Please let me know what your availability is for a quick chat." After receiving so many rejection emails, one tip I would love to share with you all is that if the recruiter don't say it's a good or exciting news in an email, and they don't sound very excited, then it's most likely that it's not going to be an offer. So I hop on a call with the recruiter as she requested, and the call only lasted for 5 minutes. The recruiter told me that it was a close call, but the team had decided not to move forward. They did encourage me to reapply again after 6 months, and because I was very close to getting an offer, so next time when I interview with Meta, I can just go straight from the on-site interview. Although I was sad about not getting an offer from Meta, even though I have tried so hard, their promise of allowing me to interview again straight from an on-site interview gave me some hope. So I told myself, it's okay, you just need more time to prepare for the interview, and eventually you will nail it. 6 months later, Meta kept their word and shoot me an email. "I saw that you interviewed with us before, and it was a very close call. I was wondering if you would be open to re-exploring opportunities with Facebook." So that tiring interview process started again. Before heading straight into the on-site interview, I put in a lot of time and energy to improve my interview skills based on the feedback they gave me last time. And I've also practiced really hard on the rounds that I felt could have done better in the last on-site interview. Before the on-site, I also let the recruiter know that I had a very tight timeline because a few other companies who extended me offers also needed me to make a decision as soon as possible. Yes, I felt that the best part about interviewing with Meta was that the recruiters are always very responsive, and their interview process was super efficient. Basically, no matter they decided to extend you an offer or not, you will be able to hear about their decisions no more than a week after an on-site. So 4 days after the on-site interview, I got a response from the recruiter. The team deliberated and has decided not to move forward at this time. Ironically, in the follow-up call with the recruiter, she told me that that was another close call, and they encouraged me to reapply again in 6 months, and I can just go straight from the final round. That was the same recruiter who worked with me before, and she told me exactly the same thing she said in the call with me a year ago. After that call, I couldn't stay strong anymore and just burst into tears. I felt devastated, and I didn't understand why, even after trying so hard and prepped so much, I was still not able to meet Meta's hiring bar. And that confusion led to some self-doubt. I started to question my ability to present my work in a very engaging way. I was also worried that the projects I shared in interviews had poor qualities, and I even started to question whether or not I am a qualified UX designer. Those thoughts are really dark, and it took some time to let go all those depressed, sad, or angry emotions. You could cry by yourself, talk to a friend, go skydiving, or do whatever that would comfort you, as long as it's legal. But life needs to move on, and I was not interested in this continuing to reapply in 6 months game with Meta anymore. So 1 week after the rejection, I started to analyze the failures. Regardless of how many failures you have had in your life, success is about how you deal with obstacles and failures. I found understanding the reasons for failure to be very necessary to help you succeed. In UX interview rejections, there are a few typical reasons. There are things that you can control, and there are also things that's out of your reach. Let's first start with things you can control. In a lot of situations, we get rejected not because we don't have a good design process or we're not able to create high quality design work, but it's because we don't know how to showcase our design skills in a short interview. Honestly, in a 30 minutes to 1 hour interview, it's very challenging for an interviewer to fully assess whether a candidate has the necessary capabilities or skills to perform the job duties. If we're not presenting our skills in a way that impresses the interviewer, they might think the candidate is just okay or doesn't have the capability to bring high value to the team. It's also worthy to examine whether or not our design practices has opportunity for improvement. You could reflect on the design approach you take to solve problems. If you were to do the project again, is there anything you would do differently? That's actually one of the most commonly asked interview questions. It's helpful to think about the answers to this question, not just for the sake of preparing interviews, but also to help yourself summarize learnings from work to help you grow faster in your career. And there are things out of our control that would lead to interview rejections. When we say not a good fit, it has nothing to do with what you're capable of. It just means that a company cannot find what they're looking for from your interview, and therefore they think the job might not be a good fit with you. For example, some companies say that they're looking for a mid-level designer, but they're actually looking for someone who's more senior and have experiences of leading a team to tackle really challenging large-scope projects. So even if you demonstrated a mid-level designer skills really well in a job interview, they might still not extend an offer because they are actually hiring for a senior designer. Headcount can always change at the last minute. Not every company has a well-organized hiring process. Headcount gets removed after an interview happens. In that case, companies would have to reject candidates or put them on hold until headcounts become available again. But it's always hard for companies to promise candidates when headcounts are going to be available again, and they don't want candidates to miss out other opportunities while waiting for them. So a rejection might be the best decision both for candidates and companies. Interviewers are human, and assessing candidates is highly subjective. There are times when we're in a bad mood, we just don't enjoy anything we see or do. Although I don't think it's fair to allow human factors to impact assessment on candidates, it's unavoidable. Interviewers' mood, the chemistry between an interviewer and a candidate, even factors such as physical appearance, tones of voice, and time of a day can impact interviews. You want to know the end of my Meta interview story? Last week, I received an email from Meta with a template that looked very familiar. Thank you, Meta, for thinking of me, but I'm not interested in continuing this game with you anymore, so bye. I hope you can rebuild confidence and get an idea of how to do better in the next interview after learning about all these reasons for interview rejections. Failure is the mother of success. Don't give up and just keep your head up. Eventually, you will succeed. This is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Hope you enjoy it. If you think this video is helpful, please give it a thumb up. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.